of my band, Shitty Piano. What was that, Wayne's World? The Shitty Beatles.
What?
Are they any good? No, they suck. So it's not just a clever name.
So we are actually recording.
Oh, God. Big shout out to the Shitty Beatles.
Yo, the Shitty Beatles. Yo, what up? Yo, I just party fouled so bad, man. Spilled a brew in the studio. That is about as bad as it gets.
You know what I notice is that every time you do something silly, you immediately jump to, I've never done that thing.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna accept that. You are listening to Rap Sucks Radio, by the way. My name is Trek Life, and you are also in the house with the homeboy Kev Sakota. What
Hello.
up, though? I'm not accepting that particular L. You know what I'm saying? But this is not normally how we start the show off.
It's a good thing no one's going to listen to previous episodes of this show. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Opening question.
Go ahead.
So,
bring it.
So, man, I don't even know how to.
The more you pause, the worse it's going to be.
I got a text message from you.
Oh, Lord.
Concerning like being happy about the amount of listens that we were getting early on. And the expression that you used was fuck a duck. Can you explain to me what the expression fuck a duck means?
I have no idea. Well, this is what I do know. It's used as an exclamation of something that's good. It can also be used in exasperation, I believe, for something that like really makes you, bums you out. I'm not going to credit who I got it from, even though he knows, that it's clearly his expression. I stole it from him because I don't even know if he's listening to the show. So until he does, I'm not going to give him props. He's also a complete jerk. So
you know what, man? I'm gonna go ahead and get into the break because I feel bad for ducks right now.
Yo, what up? It's DJ Icy Ice, and you're listening to Rap Sucks Radio.
Move around.
Yo, we are back.
The boot scoot.
This is this side conversation.
You just look like a dog who took a.
Yo, Rap Sucks Radio, your homeboy Track Life, you fam, Kev Sakota. I did not shout out who's in the house with us, man. My homeboy Mistah Shug, Big Shug, Durr. You know what I'm saying? Durr. Because he don't like you to say his government. So, yeah. And as we do, man, first of all, thank you all for listening. Early listeners, man. You guys are actually kind of putting in a little bit of work. I appreciate that.
Yep,
you know what I'm saying?
It takes a village.
It does take a village.
Of people with a lot of spare time on their hands. We appreciate you.
Let's jump into who's out here tripping.
Well, first of all, can I interrupt real quick before we get into that? Because
Sure.
Shug is a powerhouse and a wealth of knowledge when it comes to 80s references, and he pointed out very quickly that evidently Fuck a Duck comes from Action Jackson.
Oh.
Or was used in Action Jackson, which should actually be the cultural flashpoint that we refer to when, like if we write the Wikipedia page on Fuck a Duck, the first thing on that page should be Action Jackson. So
I'm fine
good
with
looking
that.
out.
That actually that's fine.
That's right.
All right. Thanks, Shug. We appreciate that. Who's out here tripping though? Do you have anybody that you think is out here tripping?
Nope.
All right. Well, then we're going to get to who's out here tripping for real. Yo, I think Barr is out here tripping, man.
Okay.
Mueller report is dropped. You know what I'm saying? Fam out here, making excuses. You know what I'm saying? Making up reasons. Dropping redacted reports like... when I read this, though, I was like, yo...
Wait, did you read the whole report?
I didn't read the entire thing. But I actually have gone through about 75, almost 80% of it. You know what I'm saying?
Are you serious?
Yeah, as much as I could go through, between work and home.
You've read so much more than most of Congress. I have to believe.
I'm not going to get too deep into some of it's just kind of fluff. You know what I'm saying? There's enough, put it this way, there's enough of it for you to say, he didn't do anything, and then he did something. Like you can pick and choose your angle if you really want to with that report. You know what I'm saying? As most people will do. But you know, your homeboy Barr is like that whole speech before was pretty wild.
I just don't understand him because I know nothing about the man.
Right.
But evidently his resume is pretty significant.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is the thing that kills me is that he comes on the scene and he's like fanboying for your boy.
It's wild, right?
It's kind of wild. The other thing that kills me is that he has developed this legacy that precedes him. He could be chilling.
Yep.
Jumps back in because he can't get enough of the exciting game of, the legal profession. And now the thing that's also crazy, which always makes me laugh, is that so there is Bob Mueller.
Right.
And there's William Barr, a.k.a. Bill Barr.
Right.
But everybody who talks about him on the news calls him Bob Barr. So at the end of the day, he's not even going to be remembered by the right name.
He's going to have a false name.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure. You know what I'm saying? So much is going on this week concerning, I think it was sort of quiet on all fronts for a while because everybody's kind of waiting for the Mueller report. Like, I think that was kind of the thing. I think this was sort of a quiet last maybe 2-3 weeks on the government, political tip. CNN just looked like they were like, striving, like trying their best to find news this last couple of weeks.
Oh, they were straight. Yeah, they were stretching.
They were stretching. They were like, woman walks across the street.
Right. Yeah.
How
exactly.
long did it take her to get across?
There was a lot of water skiing squirrels on CNN for 24 hours.
They had no idea how to deal with this news cycle without going into. So they were waiting for the Mueller report to drop. And when it dropped, I do think it was a little anticlimactic, but I think that was. I think next week it's gonna. In the next coming weeks, it'll ramp up. But I think Barr kind of set the bar. Like this could be pretty crazy. But I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I kind of dumb this down real quick so that it don't get on fire.
Yeah, I think everybody is just confused at this point. This is the thing about Trump that kind of kills me is that I get rooting for the bad guy.
Right.
Like there are a lot of people who root for the bad guy because in movies, that's what you do.
Right.
To a certain extent, right?
Right.
Like whether you're rooting for Michael Corleone or Tony Montana or Jason Voorhees, it's like, okay, we're going to cheer for the bad guy.
Right.
But that's when the bad guy has an extremely high amount of skill at being a bad guy, and he's smooth and he's just at the top of his game.
Right.
Trump is so bad at being a bad guy. He's just a klutz. He's like a klutz.
Right, he's like the
With
bad
being-
guy.
yeah,
He's like
with-
the greatest American hero of bad guys.
Yeah,
Like,
he's the Three Stooges of bad guys. The greatest American.
Speaking of great American heroes, Tiger Woods, man, wins the Masters.
Your segue game?
I'm on it right now.
killing
I'm murking this segment game. For those of y'all, this is episode 5, and by episode 5, if I can keep this up, man, I might make myself a segue trophy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You're going to get a,
Segue
you get to episode 10 with clean segues all the way through, and I think you get a free sandwich.
Hey, speaking of which, I didn't request any sponsors.
Oh, okay.
For the Out Here Trippin'. I don't have any, so I'm gonna go ahead and go into
How about extra high curbs
extra high
with
curve.
extra short legs?
Yo, Tiger Woods wins the Masters. Man, pretty amazing coming up with this. It was, man, I'm there was that video that had all of the, doubters.
Oh, that's actually the only thing I've seen.
That could
is
have been,
terrible.
I could have been in that video.
With him watching?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have been one of those people in that video. And that's not even no Tiger Woods shade. Like he just did not look over time. And I know, my dad's a huge golf fan, so I'm kind of into it enough to understand what's going on. And he did not look in the very beginning of his comeback like he would ever be great again. Like it was like, yo, there's just no way.
Right.
That it just didn't even look close. And I know that there's some historical reference to that. Like there are several golfers who kind of took hiatus or maybe got injured or whatever and came back and didn't look great and won and all that. But it was a really big thing to see him win. And it sparked kind of a conversation that I actually hate about Tiger Woods, which is him, quote unquote, not wanting to be black. So I don't typically really get into that type of conversation because I think it's kind of a silly one. But what I always thought was weird about the Tiger Woods doesn't want to be black thing was like, he never said that. He never said, I don't want to be black. And I don't think he ever insinuated that. So what I always found odd was his thing was, I'm also Asian. And he did not ever want to leave out his mother. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was like, I'm like, okay, so are we arguing that he should ignore his mother's heritage? Or what are we arguing when we want Tiger Woods to be Huey Newton? And also, what are you supposed to do if you don't want to be a culture savior?
You're asking a question that requires an answer for someone I don't care to hear from, though.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, I got to talk to those type of people on a regular basis.
You don't have to.
Some of them might be closer than others. Like,
well, okay, so this is my opinion, which I have to say,
your show
because
so
yeah.
So go ahead.
That's what's happening. Okay, first of all, his injuries, it's counterintuitive, and as someone who doesn't play golf, I can definitely say this with a father who also follows the game, plays, and understands what actually goes into the game. You watch golf and you think, oh, you think it's not stressful on the body.
Right, it's non-athletic.
But at that level, not only is it, but you kind of understand that it's mentally, very, requires a lot of focus and a certain kind of personality.
Yeah.
But the physical aspect of how he plays was so incredibly impacted by the injuries that he was going through, in addition to all the personal stuff that he was going through. So he was already going through a lot, legitimately a lot, just in that, the personal and the physical. But then there's the aspect of the personal that goes to what we're talking about, which is that when his father passed,
Yeah.
It's and
shout out to Earl Woods, man.
So if you want to, and I don't know how, I obviously don't know anything about their interaction when it came to talking about him being a young black male in America.
Right.
But you didn't get the sense that his father wasn't having that conversation with him.
Yeah, well,
in any kind of way,
Yeah, there's evidence of that conversation. They have an interview of him as a young man, and that was his reason, one of his reasons for wanting to win the Masters initially, because of how blacks had been treated at the Masters and basically in golf. So he's aware of, or at one point he was very aware of the impact he would have if he won the Masters as a black male. Mm-hmm. But I do think that there is an argument about, like, again, being a culture savior and the relative importance of it if you don't want to be that. Because is that really my argument in these moments is like, okay, so what is freedom? Is freedom the ability to break away from oppression only to act like everybody else around you? Like, is that free? Okay, you're free from white American oppression or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. White supremacist oppression, not white America per se, because I don't want to like disparage white people wholly. You know what I'm saying? But, and now that you're free, you better fall in line and do all these things that we say do. Okay, well then you're not really free. You know what I'm saying? That's not true freedom. True freedom is I'm free from this oppression and I'm free from the ideology of I'm free from all ideology. You know what I'm saying? I don't, that's going to be to my dying day, my most, my heaviest argument about freedom and about like culture freedom is, okay, what is freedom to you then? You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of my big Tiger Woods moment in these arguments. And I've had this argument about Tiger Woods for quite a while. It's not,
it's been going on forever.
Yeah. So
we just didn't think we were going to have it.
Yeah. We thought he was done as a golfer. And we were like, all right, well, cool. Send the Masters goes back to, whoever, some people that speak with an accent I don't understand, and that's life. But you know what I'm saying? But no, I kind of wanted to bring that up because not so much specifically Tiger Woods, but what is the concept of freedom from racial oppression really? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like freedom from racial oppression is only to move into a group ideology or a group think. We can't really truly be free. You know
I think that anytime you are coming from, especially with a young black man golfing or a young black person in the NHL. You know, you're playing sports that are traditionally not, populated by people of color.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, from Jackie Robinson and everyone before him on,
Right.
You're fighting on a number of fronts.
You are.
That you didn't, and all of them but one are the fronts that you chose to fight on, right? But you kind of go into it knowing, hey, this is the world that I live in.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? And then, it's then up to you to deal with, well, how do I want to sort of attack this? And then if you find a level of success, especially the level of success he achieved, it's like, then the pressure is going to come from a number of different places that you maybe never even expected. Then it's like, why should I even have to deal with it?
Yeah. And there's something. I mean, if I am Tiger Woods, if I'm achieved the level of golfing success that he's achieved the level of financial success that he's achieved, like, I'm bringing the Black Panthers back. That's me though. Like, it's on. Like, I'm more of the LeBron ideology as a person. You know what I'm saying? Than I am of the, I don't want to be, a culture savior. You know what I'm saying? But that's me. And I can totally respect somebody like initially like a Kobe Bryant or like a Tiger Woods who's like, look, I just want to be an individual. I want to be great at my sport or great at my profession, and then I just want to move on. And I actually think that the fact that I would do it one way, that LeBron has done it one way, that Tiger Woods has chosen not to do it or not to do it openly or out in front or has had his ideologies, that Oprah Winfrey has decided to have her own ideologies, a person I don't almost agree with anything that comes out of her mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would,
you would never give everybody a car.
I would. I would do that. But I certainly wouldn't say some of the things that she said. Like, I wouldn't, okay, I'm not gonna shade. I'll shade Oprah real quick. Like, I wouldn't open up a school in Africa in spite of opening up a school in America because black kids only want Jordans, only to not monitor and do your R&D about that school and get those young ladies beat up by the African teachers because okay. So now, I don't really have. But, I don't have a big problem with Oprah. Just, that's a minor problem with it. But my thing is, but for her to be able to make that decision, that's freedom.
Right.
That's to me, that's genuine freedom. And I think that you might be like, man, I really wish that some of these black, successful black folks or successful people of color would return and fight the good fight. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that they don't, because they decide not to, or because they don't fight it like my man LeBron has fought it, hey, that's the nature of freedom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, first of all, we only have these conversations, generally speaking, as just in this sort of general pop culture atmosphere. We only have these conversations about people who have achieved a certain level of success in the thing that they are supposed to be known for being successful at.
Right. Absolutely.
They've achieved a high level of success at something in their life, which is one more achievement than most of the rest of us.
Right.
At a supremely high level. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I feel like once you get past a certain age, it's like, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to appreciate what this man or this woman has done. But at the end of the day, they're not calling me asking what they should do, what move they should make next.
No.
So,
and I'm not calling them.
Right.
That's the key.
This is one thing I will say, though. Whether you're talking about Tiger or Colin Kaepernick or Oprah, none of them has ever in the history of the world had a party foul in this room the way you just did.
As I said at the beginning of the show, I actually spilled a beer in the studio. This is something I've never done in this studio, at least. So yeah, I you know what, man, this ain't finna be this type of show where I just gotta hold L's the entire time or whatever.
Well, you made a very supreme declaration early on in the life of this program.
That's fine. That's perfect.
You're gonna have to go ahead and ride that out. That wave is still cresting.
That wave is
my
still,
friend.
I'm gonna have to roll on to
Yeah.
that. All right. I can live with that. You did bring up, you know what, man? We were talking before the show started. We were doing our production meeting or whatever, and I don't want to make the entire show about racism, but you had mentioned that we really only had this conversation when it's a person who's achieved a certain level of success, right? Like a Kaepernick or whatever. But we also kind of only have the race baiting conversation when it's a person of color. And I think that that's also kind of a thought process that goes along with this, right? Like, I actually have a question for the audience and those of you guys who want to discuss it. I'll post it. Some of these things we'll go ahead and post up on the Facebook page. You know what I'm saying? Which is RSR podcast. Because Facebook, if you want to know why,
Facebook is the cutting edge for the young people of America.
Do you think young people are really listening to this?
No.
They've turned this. They turned this off when we dissed Kodak Black in the first episode. You know what I'm saying? They were done with that. But so yeah,
we're gonna go ahead and do that again. By the way,
we are.
just stay tuned.
Just stay tuned for that. But yeah. That Facebook won't let you use sucks in your.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah. So they refuse because they wouldn't let me use Rap Sucks Radio because sucks is like a bad word.
It is negative. I have to admit,
It's pretty negative.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I think that we only have this conversation like about race baiting when it's when it's a person of color. We don't really have a conversation about race baiting when.
Tell me more.
Tell you more. Fine. You want me to give you a situation?
Well, what I think you're getting to, I think I know where you're going, but.
Well, I mean, I could give you an example.
Yeah.
But like for example, people feel like Al Sharpton's an extreme race baiter.
Okay.
Right. And we have this whole ideology that like.
You mean like pulling the race card, so to speak?
Like race baiting. And now I might be going a different direction than your initial thought process.
Not
But
really. Yeah.
my thing is, okay, first of all, he can't race bait if the situations don't take place. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't make, it's sort of my thing about the news. Yeah, there's fake news and we laugh and joke about CNN putting dubs on it, but they are still talking about situations that actually happen. So it's not as though if you don't want this news to take place, then it can't happen, right? So it's sort of the same thing with Al Sharpton or anybody else just kind of on the person of color side. When we question them race baiting or pulling strings or pulling race cards, it's like, but it's for something. You see what I'm saying? These situations continue to take place. And now you want to act like we can't discuss those situations? Like I'm trying to figure out why that's a thing. You know what I'm saying? What is race baiting to people then?
Yeah, the only story to... okay, so this is what I will say to anyone who says that, is that for the rest of us, the only story about Al Sharpton that's going to be breaking news... I mean, he's obviously does incredible things for the community all the time.
Right.
Things that are admirable. But the only true breaking news is when all the, young men getting killed by the police for no reason.
Right.
Women getting hurt by people for no reason.
Right.
When all these crimes of victimization and or just subjugation and harassment or just straight up racism, when they stop happening, and your story is about how Al Sharpton all of a sudden has nothing to do or nothing to say,
right?
Then you know what, we can all come together and have that conversation,
right? And
if he's found himself bored all of a sudden,
when he's grasping for straws,
yeah. Guess what?
Right.
Wait
then yeah. Like when 3 black churches aren't burned in Louisiana while the cathedral in France burns. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which, is kind of another, segue,
Yep.
segue, right? We will go from that to 3 black churches burning. So, if you have been anywhere near the news and television over the last couple weeks, you know that the Notre Dame, is it Notre Dame or Notre Dame?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Okay, my
That's
accent is
horrible.
That was really bad.
Mine.
The cathedral was set on fire. They believed that it was like an electrical outlet fire. Like I'm trying to think of like,
well, they were doing renovations, and
Okay.
I think something just went sideways.
okay, cool. I
And
was
then
like,
they said they saw Jesus in the flames, so there's that.
there's that too. All right.
Who knows?
Okay, cool. Yeah. So skipping ahead,
But nobody was hurt,
no one was
which
hurt,
is why
which
we
is extremely
find
fortunate.
a wide berth of license to talk a lot.
The spire fell though.
trash.
That was a big thing.
But a historic monument, religious icon,
Well, look, historic monument, religious icon, absolutely. It's also, I mean, humans are gonna marvel at human things. I don't. That's another thing. This episode is like Trek does not understand. There are people who are like, we should. Well, why are you worried about? And that's what you sound like when I read you guys typing. This is the voice. Why are you so worried about a cathedral when zebras are running? It's like, shut your goofball ass. Yeah, nigga. Like, don't nobody want to see animals in nature burn either. Fool. It's not like we all like. It's not like you driving on the freeway like fuck mountains. Like nobody does that. You know what I'm saying? So which story are you telling when you have this argument? Like nobody's saying that. You know what I mean?
My car's got over 200,000 miles on it, though. So there are times when I actually say
Where
that.
you're like fuck mountains. Okay, fair.
Or hills.
Fair. Well, fuck hills.
Hills.
Well,
Which by default means mountains. You're out of here.
But so I think the argument that people worried about the religious aspect, I don't think most people are really considering the religious aspect of it. I think most people, when they saw the cathedral burning, were seeing like a human marvel, a marvel of human creation,
Sure.
burning, and they felt some way about it. And my thing was, of course, I'm not going to question where your empathy should be, unless you're one of the people who's like wired, you goofballs. I'll question y'all, but my thing was, okay, but also keep in mind, while this historic monument is burning, 3 black churches in Louisiana were burned by, following historic racism. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's notable. I think it's something that we should take note of. Like,
Sure.
I've read various opinions, and of course, internet culture. But you read various opinions about, well, why did those 3 churches even matter? They don't even pale in comparison. But there's the human element of this, where you're like, if you're going to call out people for race baiting or talk about true freedom or whatever, it's like this young man decided to, God, it's like the oldest act of racism at this point. And it's in America,
He went OG with it.
He went OG with it. It's like, yo, is it gonna ever stop? Like, when do y'all chill? Like, are we gonna be done with this at any particular point where we wake up one morning and it's like, yo, the problems are normal. These are regular reactive human problems, not necessarily like racially motivated, or where you could turn on the news and that's done. And I know I sound like hella kumbaya, but that's the argument about seeing the contrast and comparison between 3 black churches being burned in Louisiana due to historic racism and 1 great historic building in France burning. I didn't say, fuck that cathedral. It's about that's cornball. But the real conversation is like, are you noticing both sides of this situation?
No, and I think that's not see, we often talk about, why are you paying attention to that when you should be paying attention to this? It's like, well, I noticed both. I just decided to talk about this.
Right.
Because it's the sort of most, current event of the day.
Right.
The thing that was refreshing to me, and again, we don't do any homework, so we don't know if this is true, but evidently the churches, the sort of backlash to the financial contributions going to Notre Dame sparked people paying attention to what happened in the churches and giving money to rebuild them as well, which may not have happened.
Right.
Maybe God was speaking to everybody,
Maybe
saying,
reached
"Man,
out.
listen,
It's going down.
this is what's happening." To me, my thing is like, to me, the churches here, yeah, you're right.
Right.
That's more current. People could have been hurt.
People very well could have been hurt. Yeah.
And that's here at home. Okay, America first. Whatever. To me, my heart broke more. I remember when Q-Tip's record collection burned up. I'm like, I didn't go on Facebook and Twitter and say, what are you doing for Q-Tip?
It wasn't around. My Q-Tip impression is the same as my Most Def impression, but it's with the higher voice. Just so you guys know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know, records burned down. It was kind of crazy, son. I was just trying to figure out, like where am I gonna go from here? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like.
Why do I feel like your Q-tip impression sounds exactly like your Trump impression?
I cannot do a Trump impression. But yeah, that's kind of a wild thing. Like this week has actually been pretty wild. The show is kind of based on like trying to again, a lot of times just processing all of these stories and how they take place and how they unfold and the discussion around them. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of times the discussion around the story is sensationalized and then the discussion is sensationalized. It's
right.
Like, and people are like, you know, upset at the sensationalizing of the story, but then discuss it in a sensationalized manner. So
yeah, so this is also part of the point of what you're probably going to hear, what you've heard already, and what you're going to hear in a more focused sense as we get better at doing what we do, is that if you're silly on the internet, we're watching the same stories and reading the same posts that you are probably, and we are going to tease out the silliness of your silly ass.
Yeah. You can clown.
And present it to you.
Yeah, you're definitely a clown. We could do a whole episode on Shug post. Like, yeah, what's wrong with him? Is he all right? Real quick, man, sports news. I know y'all really don't like sports. I know. I've learned in the past to not do too much on sports.
Did you get negative feedback, though?
I didn't, but I just know from the former show that I did that people tend to tune out when sports comes out.
They don't want the repercussions to track.
Yeah.
You got Magic fired.
What have we done on this show so far? We've gotten Magic fired.
Kodak Black got canceled.
Kodak Black got canceled and arrested.
And arrested.
We've done that.
Yeah, we didn't have anything to do with him getting arrested, though.
We're not the feds, but he might be the feds, though. That's another part of the discussion.
Ooh.
Yeah. No one gets into Canada with that many L's on their record. Like that's my man on it. I got to make sure I shout him out. But my man said that on the internet. He was like, "Yo, how do you get into Canada with L's? Like people with old DUIs can't get into Canada. But this dude got hella charges and he walking through Canada gallivanting and they just let him through. He might be the feds.
Sorry, sir. Sorry.
And Beyonce got like some got a show on Netflix. Like,
oh yeah, we did that.
Yeah, we did that.
That came out of the blue. She was not expecting any of that to happen before we aired.
We aired
the next day.
Yeah, we called out Reebok.
Netflix called her.
And Netflix called. They had some black folks in the meeting room.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, Netflix listened to the show. They got it right. So we've done quite a few things in our first 4 episodes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty hyped about
Rap Sex Radio is a road to glory.
It is. And we've just spent like 2 minutes bragging about the show. So what we're going to do now is real quick, I'm going to talk about the NBA Finals. And I'm not going to get into like who's winning, who's losing. I had ideas of who should win and who should lose. I really want OKC to win because I know how much y'all love Damian Lillard but dislike my man Russell Westbrook. And I think that's a really goofy argument. I don't know why. But I think y'all goofy for it. And my man Mike, shout out to my man Mike, my man Source was like, when did the word goofy make a comeback? Well, when people started acting goofy, that's when.
They never stopped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess Facebook goofed y'all out. Like y'all was quiet at one point, and now y'all just cornball as hell. But I miss the 5-game series in the first round.
You were mentioning that.
I cannot, dude. By game 3 of the first round series, I'm like, yo, I just want y'all to go home. You know what I'm saying? Chris Dudley is talking trash. I'm like, not Chris Dudley. Jared Dudley is talking trash. Like, you? Fam, you? How are you an athlete with no muscle definition anywhere but your forehead? And you talking trash about, Ben Simmons, who I just wanted to end. You know what I mean? Like no more scrubs. I'm with TLC and Weezer. Weezer did a No Scrubs remix, by the way. Both of them said no more scrubs.
Young Sakota's favorite song.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, let's follow Young Sakota and switch back to the 5-game series, exactly. So we can get these scrubs off the floor as quickly as possible and get to the real series. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for it.
There you go. Done. Guess what's going to happen next week in the news? The NBA announces
9-game series. That'll be what we did horribly. We did it. We ruined everything. Magic Johnson fired. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Resigned. It's old news to y'all, but I am having a great time with this news. Yeah.
Your relationship with magic is so problematic.
Oh man, he's like one of my favorite people of all time. But I was like, yo, you gotta not. All this that you doing, fam. Like, I wanted to give Magic Johnson like the homie walk over, like, yo, come on, dog, come on. Yo, you tripping right now. You know what I'm saying? You know when the homie is like hollering at a chick and she clearly just wants nothing to do with him, and you just gotta
I know nothing about that.
Walk over and give him the like, yo, come on. Well, I mean, you don't have to know anything.
That's never happened.
Well, you wouldn't. Yeah, because of the people that you hung out with.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's very true.
I'm trying.
That is very true. Yeah, no, we used to just sing hymns in church, and that's all that we did. We never did anything wrong. All right, so I'm gonna. We thought that we would be able to save this question for a later episode or whatever, but with some time left in the show, and it got a little a little racial, a little serious. We went politics to race, just to lighten the mood up a little bit. Excuse me, folks. What I've seen. A conversation on the internet about chicks that have whack rapper boyfriends and they got to be at the shows while their boyfriends is whack. And I've seen it before. Like, I've been at a show and the opening act is whack and the girl has to stand there and cheer him on, or she's there dressed completely like she's going to a nightclub and he's taking her to an actual hip-hop club, and I feel so bad for her.
Wait, when you say hip-hop club, what are you talking about?
I mean, somewhere like Unity or,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so a real hip-hop
club. A real hip-hop club. Yeah, no, I mean, grimy cargo shorts type.
Google it. Youngs,
yeah. Well, yeah, millennials, y'all would. Well, I'm sure, but I wonder, are millennials having whack hip-hop shows? That's another question that I think I'll ask in another episode. If millennials would respond, right?
I'm sure they're not whack to them, but I would think that the girls who are showing up to those shows are dressed like they're going to a club.
They think they're going to a club. Yeah.
They're not wearing hoodies.
All my hip hop folks out there that are out of our age, was that not your favorite thing? To see the chick in the club and like in the hip hop spot with like heels.
But that was always but that girl, if she usually wasn't used to wearing heels. So that's probably part of why it was a little bit comedic.
You should have had tennis shoes on. It's like you should have just put your
it's like be yourself.
Put your show toes on. You're good.
Yeah.
But it led me to think.
We're all friends here.
I'm not sure if I could ever be with somebody who was whack at their chosen art. I don't know if I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, maybe they've chosen the wrong art.
But that's fine. But they whack at it, so it doesn't matter whether they chose the wrong one. The reality is,
well, that's the thing. What if they're ride or die in the relationship?
Yeah.
And then they're like, the dude is like, I'm doing a show. I got the show. Come on out. And they go and they wear the T-shirt or the whatever it is, right?
The He's Whack T-shirt with the bowl with the Helvetica. Nah, I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all, man. I just follow your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Follow your dreams. Don't let me talk down to y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is a thing, man. It's been a rough week for me. But what I
has it?
No, it hasn't at all. I'm trying to make sure I back off of being hard on folks for trying to rap and they can't. And it's a thing, right? But this is y'all time. Like this.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. It's the whole thing.
Yeah. This is whack rapper moment. Like y'all, this is your shining moment. You're a shooting star right now. You can, if you are a whack MC, go for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, set your sights towards go. Like all systems ahead. Because if you whack, this is your moment.
Push your thrusters to full.
For real. Speaking of whack, man, I do want to make sure that we do repeat that Kodak Black.
Yeah, man.
Oh. And I listened to the old.
It's like he's just the meme of the chick getting hit by the hot dogs. That's him getting hit by L's. Just L's, boom, 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 all over the face.
I'm sorry, yo.
Oh God,
that is really bad. Oh, he's taking so many L's, and they won't stop. They're like following him up the street. It's just L's.
Unforced errors.
The enemy that defeats himself.
Oh my God.
And he just, every time he takes an L, he like brings up T.I. Like T.I.
What's that?
Like,
It's like I know nothing about T.I. Guess what?
Yeah.
I have no particular interest in talking as much trash, a fraction of the trash that he talked.
But so many other people talk trash to him, and he's chosen like T.I. as
T.I.?
his response, as he's going to respond. Like Game has said things, Snoop has said things.
Oh.
All sorts of other people have said something. He's chosen to respond. Matter of fact,
I feel like he went super personal though.
he did.
Like everything else that he's done over the last, he literally has packed more L's into the last 3 weeks than the alphabet.
It's impossible. Like Sesame Street
The
has
alphabet.
never talked to more. The alphabet, fam. What just happened right now?
I got Bob Bars.
Bob, oh my God, that's 2 for 2 within like seconds. The alphabet and Bob Bars, yo. Those are just lies, by the way. Bob Bars. Those are just straight up. No, that's just looking out for the homie. Like,
Yeah, he should have somebody that's just like, no.
he does. He has Huckabee.
I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Kodak
people that got
Black.
his back. Oh, Kodak Black. Yeah, Kodak Black needs a Bob Bar.
Yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
one very, very interesting piece of news that we got this week is that his government name is Bill Capri. And we try to respect people not using their government name. I don't know that he was trying to put that out there, but why wouldn't you?
Yeah, Bill Capri
Bill
is
Capri.
a raw name. Yeah.
Tight.
That's a dope name.
Yeah.
Bill Capri.
Yeah, so when you see the new rapper on Rap Caviar
Is that a...
and number one, Bill Capri, you know who's coming at you.
You know, is that...
Dude with multiple crosses on his face.
He should re-tattoo those crosses to L's.
I saw some picture that I think it was fake, but of him in the courtroom when there were no tattoos visible.
That would be... What is up with the young generation being in courtrooms holding L's? Like the Tekashi dude. Is that how you say dude name?
Yeah.
Fam.
I
was like, yo, this is pretty bad. It's like a comet hitting the earth type L's. Like you just smashed into the ground and then people just stop talking about dude.
He's trying to protect his butthole.
Man.
You trying to protect his family.
And butthole.
He just... Dude is like, yo, it's just like, could you be any more stupid, yo?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, if y'all gonna do this music thing, and look, old head energy, I don't like a lot of the music that y'all do. And that's fine. Don't rely on my opinion, man. Like,
They're not.
man, don't. If you were, if you were looking to me for any advice, I probably don't like your music anyway. Like, that's my advice.
Right.
I didn't listen. You sent it to me. I didn't listen because I'm not an A&R and I can't do anything for you. That's the likelihood.
Right.
But you got to be smarter than some of these people out here, because like some of the moves that these people are making, it's like, dude, you cannot. Are you serious? Do you want a career? Do you want to wake up later on and be able to be on like a 2010 revamp tour? Like you're not gonna make it, man. You're not gonna be able to be on that joint. Like Ja Rule is barely out here surviving, if that.
Fire 2.
Fire 2. But Fire Festival Part 2. But Ja Rule is barely out here breathing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know where the members of Blackstreet are. Like, people are really hardly surviving in the music industry.
Why you got a fire on Blackstreet out of nowhere?
That is true.
They're just walking down the street.
That's true.
Down the Blackstreet. And you're just out of nowhere.
My bad. They probably listen to this podcast too. This is probably
I'm sure
something
they do.
Yeah, well,
Teddy Riley.
Was Teddy Riley, I was going to say, was Teddy Riley in Blackstreet?
Yes.
yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
But question is, can Teddy Riley sing? No.
No, Teddy Riley can't sing.
That's all right.
He'll surround
He,
himself.
you know what? He was so, his presence was so big in the industry when he was producing those records. He could sing. That's how dope he was doing.
Listen, man. He was producing Keith Sweat. That studio session. It's like cats were outside crooning and glasses were breaking.
Wow. You folded up Teddy Riley and Keith Sweat in the same comment?
What
Oh
are we
my goodness.
And that's the good thing about old head energy, right? Is that we could actually go back and say, all right, well, we could kind of shade y'all for the Old Town Road song, but we did actually let Keith Sweat make it.
Oh, that's another thing we did.
Yeah. Old Town Road, yeah.
Old Town Road, number one.
Number one.
Billboard charts.
Listen
We
to
don't
it
have
for
to
the first
worry
time
about
today.
whatever the Billboard country whatever chart
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
We don't have to
screw
worry about what
that,
it is.
screw that,
That's
yeah.
that's genre specific.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Old Town Road.
Yeah.
That's universal.
And CMT, next CMT will take my advice on getting like tip drill on the show. You know what I'm saying? Like making sure that they do like a late night raunchy country music video show. You know what I'm saying? Where it goes down. Country music in strip clubs. Like CMT, get on it, man. I'm trying to put y'all on. Yo, I listened to that song for the first time today.
Okay. What were your thoughts? Did you take notes?
I did not. I
No.
didn't take any notes. My daughter was like, I haven't heard that song. And we've done played this game when I'm driving where my wife takes the phone and we all pick a song to listen to, and they endure my song while they listen to whatever, BTS or whatever they want to listen to.
Oh, okay.
Well, my wife doesn't listen to BTS, but my daughter certainly does.
Okay.
Huge fan of BTS. Yeah.
Yes.
It's uncomfortable. But
I think you need to look inside your own heart for why you feel that way.
I have so many questions, but how did this happen is probably the biggest question. But but I listened to the song and I got it. Like I get it. I don't like it, but I get it.
Old Town Road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We're not splitting the atom here.
We're not.
Yeah.
And it's not as whack as Nelly was, right? Like at the end of the day, I'm shading people today.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
throwing-
Why? Why do you do it?
Oh my God, I cannot. There is nothing I dislike in music more than Nelly. Yeah.
Wow.
Period.
I gotta say this. Whenever track hosts,
Yeah. Whenever I MC at any club, yep.
any club, if Nelly comes on,
Yeah.
he says nothing.
I don't say anything.
You
What
just
makes
leave
it
them.
even more hilarious that we tell the DJ.
Oh, they love it.
Because it's like Nelly.
They love it.
Don't
They
tell
love the
nobody
fact that I
that's
don't like Nelly. And whenever they play the song, they like point at me and laugh. And yeah,
So,
not-
but then when the song goes off, you start talking
yeah,
again.
I start talking. Yeah, basically, yeah. He's like the Debo of my host. Yeah, exactly.
He's your spiritual Debo.
He's my spiritual Debo. That's perfect. A perfect analogy there, Kevin.
like this. I'm a sucker for cornrows. Just put some like that.
Andale, mama, E-I, uh-oh.
Yeah.
What's popping tonight?
That's some intricate shit.
And remember, he's a sucker for cornrows and manicured toes.
Listen. Well, let's repeat it real quick for the audience. Just breaking down lyrics of our time. Right? A time capsule.
I just picture the rap genius, the yellow highlight with just question marks. It's like we got nothing.
Andale, mommy, uh-oh. Listen, in certain parts of LA, you go out and like say that out loud, you might get your ass beat. Like, yo, what are you trying to say right now? You know what I'm saying?
Anywhere in the country you go out and say that, you should. In fairness.
Yeah, we are wrapping up time on episode 5. This was like the episode of Shade.
Yeah, this is a very angry show.
I'm pretty proud of this one though. I think we
We're
needed
happy
this.
people though.
Yeah, we really are. We really are. And,
Yeah.
and listen, like I said, don't rely on me for opinions of your music. I just am not really the guy to listen to at this point. I'm done. I'm not as bad as like my fam, my Spit Kicker fam. I love y'all. You guys are pretty bad. Like,
Wow,
that's said with love. Like
you are
that's
shading shade.
No.
Oh.
I'm saying like they're like way harder on current artists than I am. And those are my folks. Like Fizz, my folks, Omega, that's my folks. Like those are my peoples. But yeah, I'm still not really. Even if you're like super hip hop, like, oh man, that dude might be as dope as Nas. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Anyway, so I got somewhere to be, and you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Go ahead with your bad self, maybe. What up, y'all? This was Rap Sucks Radio, man. We appreciate y'all listening.
Old head energy.
Old head energy. We should make like an old head energy drink. Yo, we are off the scene. Man.
You drink it and it just gives you gas and puts you to sleep. Yay.
And you like listen to oldies.
Mad high fructose corn syrup.
Immediately like start singing the OJs.
Yeah.
Give us a Kofas.
Gives you diabetes
It turns
before you leave the room.
For somehow between the can and the cup, it
Fantastic.
turns into brown liquor. We are out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to Rap Sucks Radio with your homeboy Trek Life and your fam, Kev Sakota.
Yep.
Shout out to the homeboy Shug in the building. You know he'll be in the building for next episode because we do give special guests 2 episodes. Although he didn't really completely want to be on the mic. He just wanted to be in the background this time. Please check out rapsucksradio.com and also our Facebook page, which is RSR Podcast. That is RSR Podcast. A lot of the stories that we talked about, or all of the stories that we talked about, we'll go ahead and post articles to them, and we can, discuss them there.
Yeah, and you will also get a glimpse into what we may be talking about next episode based on what we're posting.
That is true. That is true.
And also, if you are on Apple Podcasts,
yes,
or anywhere,
yeah,
like it, rate it, review it.
Yes.
Whether you want to say nice things,
right,
or whether you want to sound like us,
yeah,
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We don't care.
We do not care.
We don't read. We told you that.
I don't read. We're like Bill Burr. I don't read.
You just literally said that you read.
I did read 80
300 pages of a 400.
Well, you know what's crazy is that's basically what okay. We're gonna talk about all this off the air. All right, Rap Sucks Radio, man. We out of here. Peace.